Hi, I'm Dobby, but you can call me Dabz. So today I'm reviewing The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I would see this book like literally every single time I went to Barnes & Noble. It would be on one of the displays, and every single time like I remember picking this book up multiple times because the cover was kind of like it drew me in a little bit, which is interesting because it's very simple. It's just the title and like an upside down dog. But for some reason the colors and everything just like drew me in, and it looked like an interesting book, and I read a little bit of the like blurb and I was like, wow, this sounds interesting, but I never actually picked it up until about a week ago. So I finally picked it up. But this book is basically the story of a brilliant 15-year-old Christopher Boone. And Christopher, he often thinks of like mathematical formulas to figure out daily scenarios. He can name every prime number into the thousands, and in general he's a genius at many things, but especially math. However, he has trouble interpreting social cues, and he hates being touched. When a dog in Christopher's neighborhood is mysteriously killed, he's determined to solve the mystery. He gets deeper and deeper into this case, but he kind of begins to figure out things that he could have never imagined before. So, although it's never explicitly like stated in this book, it's pretty implied that Christopher has autism, and I've heard people say both that it's not a very accurate representation of autism and is generally like stereotypical, but I've also heard like other people say that like other people with autism say that they were able to relate to the book in certain ways. And I think because of the scope of autism is so diverse, it's difficult to capture it all, and that's why some people can relate and some people feel like it's a completely like negative or wrong portrayal. I can't really speak on the accuracy of the representation, so I'm kind of going to be focusing more on the story itself and other aspects of the book, but I just wanted to mention that. So I want to start by saying that this book was extremely easy to read. I think I read it in 2 or 3 days. It's mainly because of the way that the book is written. It's written as if Christopher actually wrote the book. Like in the story even, he's like, oh, like I'm writing a book, like this is his book. There's even pictures in the book and everything, and he describes what happens in a way that's literal and it's efficient and it's easy to understand. Nearing the end of the book, there begin to be more like descriptions, and they get a little bit long and bland, but once you kind of push through that part, it like gets better. That's just a little like area of the end that's like that, but in general it was like very easy to kind of breeze through this book. I also think that this book was easy to read because what happens was genuinely like interesting to me. I thought it was a good story. I thought there were good plot twists. I don't know if I would categorize this as like a traditional mystery novel though. The killer is revealed pretty early in the book. It's still a great story, but like I don't know if I feel like mystery, calling it a mystery was kind of to like draw readers in. It's more of like a coming of age kind of like fiction novel. That was what it felt like more to me than a mystery. The way that Christopher narrates this novel not only made it easy to read, but it also allowed you to kind of delve into his mind and his way of thinking. It was definitely interesting to read this book from a unique perspective like that, especially one that I'm personally not used to. And the way that the author writes too, especially like it makes the tone sound childish because like Christopher is a kid or like a teenager. It makes it sound like a younger person is writing it. Especially, I think the author does a really good job of like portraying emotion, especially panic, because like when Christopher's kind of panicked or like talking about something that he enjoys, the author will like use less commas, and it kind of makes you read faster. And like just the way that he writes was very like interesting to me, and it was able to capture, I think, the emotions of like the scene, I guess. So I enjoyed the characters in this book, but I was not like severely invested in them. I definitely liked how they all had like little quirks and flaws, yet you still found yourself rooting for them at certain points. The author did a good job of like portraying them as real people who made real mistakes. However, I didn't necessarily feel like such a strong connection to them to the point where I cared a lot about what happened to them. But that might just be me personally, because I've read a lot of reviews about this book that said that it was like very like it tugged at the heartstrings. It was very emotional, and there definitely were moments, especially at the end between Christopher and his father, that I felt were very like emotional and raw. But in general, I didn't find myself like super invested in the characters. One thing I liked in this book was how the chapters were like, I thought they were light, I thought they were funny, I thought that they had humor in them, and they were also very short. I really enjoy short chapters as opposed to like longer chapters in any book because, I don't know, it feels like you're getting through the book faster and like stuff is happening quicker to me. And also, fun fact, this book, the chapters actually go up in prime numbers because Christopher loves prime numbers. So instead of like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, it went like chapter 2, 3, 5, etc. I personally really enjoyed the ending too. I thought that the last line was a great way to finish off the book. I thought the ending was like satisfying. Although I wasn't too deeply invested, I thought that this book did make for a great read. I really enjoyed it. I understand why people like it. I would recommend this book to, there were a couple like mature themes in the book, so it's probably like YA-ish, but I ended up enjoying it. So that would be the end of my book review. If you like this video, then like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and happy reading. So today I'm reviewing The Curious... So this book is about 15-year-old... Actually, before I say this, I want to talk a little bit about where I got the book. Okay, one more time, one last time. It went like chapter 2, 3, 5, etc. I know the next one. It's 7. I know the next one. Yeah. So yeah.